Folks, welcome back inside the studios of 3733 East Broadway. This is a live edition of the Jake Feinberg Show. Coming to you live on Power Talk. Please go to our website, powertalk.live. Download our free app and stream all of our live local programming, including Solomon on Blast, The Jim Parisi Show, and yours truly, The Jake Feinberg Show. We can't thank you enough for making us part of your day today. We welcome people joining us here live on Facebook. It's a prolific tool within a tool, so I can bring you the most soulful, energetic, and authentic artists in our country's musical history. We just heard from Commander Cody telephonically from Saratoga Springs. And now we get a chance to talk to a legendary character, worldwide figure. Of course, he lives here in the old Pueblo. And Don Nottingham, welcome to the Jake Feinberg Show.
Glad to be here, my man.
My man, we just heard Train Gone. That was an Abbott Taylor tune. I was just telling you before, I was playing with Abbott and Chuck last Monday. I received confirmation from you that you could do this interview. And I said, do you know Nod? And Abbott's like, I sure do. And in fact, Nod cranked on one of my songs called Train Gone. My question is this. Where did you learn to feel the music? Was it a sanctified church? Can you talk a little bit about, because listen, when they played that cut for me, it's soul. It comes from your soul. And soul music doesn't have to be black, but I'm just curious about where you learned to feel the music.
Well, when I was a young kid, I did sing in church. And but I mean, the soul, I guess, I was born with it. I was blessed with it. I was gifted with it. You know, it's just something that was always inside of me. And it took a lot of years for me to bring it out to the public, you know, because of my shyness. You know, people think I've been doing this shit forever, but basically, I'm not. You know, I haven't been in this game on the entertaining, you know, on the performing side.
Yeah.
You know, not long as people think.
Is there a defining moment you could talk to that helped you break out and ultimately find your voice on the bandstand?
Yeah. A friend of mine bet me $100 that I wouldn't get on stage and sing. So, me being who I am, and I had to go get that money, and the rest is history. I've been on stage ever since. When people like Abbott come to you, how do you work a song like that? Can you take us through Train Gone? Well, you know, Abbott's a great songwriter. I've had the pleasure of doing a few songs with him, and he's a great writer. And I guess he just loves my voice, and he handed me this material and told me, this is what I need you to sing for me. And I just put my own spin on it. You know, I'm just blessed with soul. Soul is in me. You know what I mean? And I feel how I want it to feel, and I feel as though how I feel it is how everybody else is going to feel it. So.
Did you have an opportunity to be in a sanctified church at any point in your life? I'm just curious about this. I want you to talk about the root. Part of my show is about lineage, so I'd like you to talk about that.
Well, yeah, I was kind of raised in a sanctified church.
You were raised where?
In Norwalk, Connecticut. I'm from Norwalk, Connecticut.
Tri-state.
Yeah, small town right outside of New York City, and you know, it's like real tight-knit community. I come from the projects, and you know, we all had that feeling. You know what I mean? We all went to the same church pretty much, and we just all came up together, and soul was part of our heritage, you know, and our being. So.
What about the trap set in there? There was no drum. There was no trap. It was modified, right? I mean, the cymbals and hands clap. I want you to talk about the spirit and whether that pastor brought an electric guitar.
Well, back then there was no bands. You had a piano and you had an organ player, and you had tambourines.
You had duo. So you had piano organ duo.
Yeah, pretty much.
And
sometimes the piano player was the organist also, so he played either one or the other.
Right, but was he kicking pedals? Was he playing bass lines?
Yeah.
Oh, this is filth.
Yeah. This is like, you know, it's crazy, and the crazy thing about it is, I've always wanted to play instruments. I used to sit down and play piano, you know, by ear, anything I really wanted to play, and I never knew at my age, you know, later on in the years that I would need that. You know what I mean? But luckily, I have somebody who can do that for me, and he's like my right hand man, and you'll meet him soon. His name is Jamar Harmon. But anyway, he's a church player, and he has a lot of soul, and we bring a lot of stuff together.
Can you talk a little bit about you know, being able to see some of these authentic blues cats? Did you get to see these cats? Because I mean, people like the Reverend Gary Davis, for instance. I'm not saying him in particular, but a lot of the white psychedelic rockers were heavily influenced by the old blues masters because of their authenticity.
Okay, well, let me make this clear.
Yeah, go ahead.
My genre is not blues. I just happened to be presented with this song. He wanted me to sing it, and he wanted me to sing it like I would sing it. You know, he gave me the basics, you know, the basic track, the rough track. I took it from there. Everything else was me.
No, I dig. I just wanted you to talk about some of the masters, the Ray Charles, the people that ultimately
influenced me.
Yeah, where you saw the authenticity, because I've interviewed 1,000 cats.
Authenticity comes to me, basically, it comes from the group The Temptations. That's where my authenticity and my sound and my being comes from. You know, you know, my mother used to play a lot of Arthur Feinberg,
Price like yeah.
You know, when I was coming up, Joe Hamilton. I mean, you know, Billy Eckstein. You know, I was raised up around that type of stuff, like more balladeer crooner type stuff. You know, bluesy, I wouldn't say too much blues. It was, you know, I've heard it, but it was never my forte. It was never nothing I really listened to.
You know what I'm getting at is it's not the genre. It's right. The idea of saying you saw people that took out their teeth to play.
Right.
It's the authenticity part of it. Okay, can you talk about that? Because you came from that's a rugged part of Connecticut.
Yeah, it is. Well, you must know about that place. But yeah, I had people that I grew up around in my project. You know, that were big influences on me as far as the gut. And I mean, I grew up around a lot of drugs and stuff like that, you know, and most of these guys were druggies, man, you know, real heavy heroin addicts, you know, and stuff like that. And these cats, they did work. I was blessed to be able to stand on the street corner with a lot of these guys when I was a little kid and just listen to them, and I adapted a lot of this stuff from these guys, you know what I mean? As far as my feeling and my soul and how these guys were giving it, you know, these guys should have been stars, all of them, that I grew up around. I come up with a couple of guys that I can tell you that can out-sing pretty much anybody in the music business that I know, you know, and I had a chance to, you know, sing with these guys.
Can you, could you play a little bit of the kazoo for us?
Oh, God. You put me on the spot, but anyway, can I get a little accompaniment from
Absolutely.
my piano player? I want to introduce Mr. Jamar Harmon. This is my right hand right here.
Welcome, Jamar.
A lot of things I do is I couldn't do them without him, but let's play a little Mr. Magic.
Grover Washington?
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
That's one of the first songs that I kind of got a beat on my playing actually notes and songs on.
Yeah, baby. Well, why don't you sing a little bit? I mean, this is what the audience wants to hear worldwide. So, I mean, anything that you that you feel like.
Well, like I said, I was blessed with a 4.5, 5-octave range. So I'm a natural bass, but I have the gift of singing a lot of different people, and we'll start with something low. Let's do a little Nat King Cole. Do a little Nat King Cole for you. Unforgettable. That's what you are. Unforgettable. Go near or far. Like a song of love that clings to me. How the very thought of you does things to me never before. Has someone been more unforgettable in every way? And forevermore, that's how you'll stay. That's why, darling, it's incredible that someone so unforgettable thinks that I am unforgettable too.
I'm not. What about some Philly International? Can we do a little Vince
Well,
Mon?
you know,
Yeah, Billy. Yeah.
I was a member of Blue Magic. Blue Magic.
No, okay. I want to talk to you for a second because Abbott told me, Abbott Taylor, one of the loyal sponsors of my program. By the way, we're building a huge audience here, so that Nat King Cole tune just nailed it. The Blue Magic on Atco, the '70s.
Yes.
You were an original member of that
I
band?
wasn't an original member, but I was there for a while. I was there. Actually, I'm still on the road with them right now. Every once in a while, we work.
Well, whatever comes to your mind. You want to do some Philly soul? You want to do what you want?
Yeah,
Keep
let's
going.
do, actually, we can do a little bit of Blue Magic's biggest hit, Sideshow.
Sideshow with Don Nottingham and my man on piano. Tell me your name again, my man. Jamar. Just lilting piano. Just keep rocking, man.
Step right up
Well, I mean, Suba Dread, I mean, we got people thumbs up. Keep the comments coming in. I mean, you are rolling, man. And this stuff is bringing me to tears. So you got to keep cooking. No more excuses. What, can you talk about the ghetto in the sense, when I go back and listen to Willie Hutch, Curtis, Donnie, those ghettos were, everybody looked after each other, okay? That's where the lyrics came from. The lyrics were about love. So how do you put that love into today's world? Not necessarily, I know you're not, I mean, how do you do that? Because the lyrics today in black music are not about love. Well, it's about,
My thing is, I'm trying to keep the love alive, because, the love is gone pretty much in music, man. And I'm just trying to keep it alive, man. I mean, my show is old school. I don't know new school.
Old school is real.
Yes, and I don't have to rehearse what I do because I already know it. You know what I mean? And if I have to do some new school, I have to learn. I have to rehearse stuff like that. I just, like I said, I got this young guy in back of me. He's the second coming of me. He's gonna be great.
Oh man, listen, we got a huge audience here. Keep rolling, keep the comments and the likes and the shares coming.
Yeah.
We got the missus here. You make sure you share it on Facebook now, all right? All right. Keep going, whatever you want.
But yeah, so you said you wanted to hear a little Curtis Mayfield. Now, I've been planning on doing a Curtis Mayfield tribute for a long time. It's something I'm really adamant about. I do tributes.
Why are you adamant about it? Tell me.
Because Curtis Mayfield was a great songwriter. He talking about love and current time. He was current. He went from one phase to another. And he started out with love. He started out with with revulsion. Revolting.
We the people that are darker than blue.
Yeah, and then he ended up with doing the soundtrack for the Mac, which is one of the greatest soundtracks of all time. And one of the songs.
Oh, that was Willie Hutch.
Well, yeah, right. He did. I mean Superfly. Don't get me.
You're right. Both great soundtracks. That's Curtis. Yeah.
Both the three top soundtracks in my life were made by Marvin Gaye, Trouble Man, Willie Hutch, the Mac, and Superfly, Curtis Mayfield.
Big shout out to Ed Green and Wilton Felder, the rhythm sections on the burning. Clarence McDonald, my man, was arranging on the horns. Stuff it brings me to tears every time. But I'll tell you, you got some serious vocal range, man. I'm digging it. It's bringing me to tears. Keep the shares coming. We need you. Keep it going, Nod. Let's go. Keep burning, Nod.
Let's do a little Pusher Man for the people.
Pusher Man. Unbelievable.
We do it all, man.
Woo! Gotta be mellow, y'all. Oh, beautiful stuff. I mean, just we're full of love today. I mean, your experience seeing Rassan, Roland Kirk, did you get a chance to see some of these cats that were?
Yeah, I've seen all these cats, man. I was fortunate enough when I was like 12 years old. I was fortunate to be at Woodstock. We had a area ministry in my town, which took the youth everywhere. And I was like 12 years old. I started at 12.
Yeah.
The only reason why I got to go was because my sister, who was like 4 years older than me, she was in this organization, and in order for her to go on these trips, I had to be able to go. I was my mother's spy. You understand? So it was like I got to go to Woodstock. I got to go to the Newport Jazz Festival. I'm talking about Randall's Island in New York. I mean,
You went to Randall's Island?
I was.
This is unreal.
I was out in the audience one day, and I was walking, through the crowd, and I was talking to this older lady. We were just talking, and she says, all of a sudden, I heard the announcer announce, ladies and gentlemen, the incomparable Miss Sarah Vaughan, and she said, excuse me, baby, I'll be back. And she ran up on the stage. It was Sarah Vaughan. I'm 12, 13 years old. I'm like, wow, man, what the hell is going on? I've been blessed, man. I grew up around a lot of people. A friend of mine just passed, Larry Coryell. I heard you did something on him last week.
Well, no, I did two radio interviews. How did you know Larry?
Well, Larry, a friend of mine, my best friend, Mr. Danny Pickering. He's a rapper.
Where's that cat at?
He's up in Red Hook, New York right now.
Oh, that's where I went to summer camp for 14 years. Yeah.
Well, but him and Miles, I had the presence of being around Larry Coryell and Miles Davis. These cats, they were doing their thing, man. One time I sat down at the drums and was playing drums. I'm not a drummer, but I got rhythm. And I'm sitting there and I'm playing this little funky beat, and Larry started playing me and said, like, shit, man, I like this shit, man. And he like wrote a fucking song.
Did the guy, if you had any he would play with everybody. But was this around the time? Because I haven't seen the Miles Davis doc, but it was based on Miles collaborating with Larry.
Larry, exactly.
Are you telling me that you were involved with them around the late?
Let me tell you something. I don't want to put a lot of stuff on the street, but we all have our past and stuff like that. But I used to drive these cats once in a while to work. To their gigs, so I get my money. So that's we're gonna leave it like that. But I was blessed to be around a lot of. I grew up around McCoy Tyner, Dave Brubeck.
Oh, see, now we're getting it out from Nod. Now we know.
Well, yeah, what's the drummer's name, man?
Elvin, Max Roach,
Tony Williams. All these cats. Jimmy Cobb is a good friend. His wife.
Elena T, man.
Yeah, Elena,
dear friend of mine.
Well,
Big shout out to Elena T on this.
That's how I met Abbott and Chuck, because Elena came to town and we all ended up partying together.
Yep.
Jamie Cerrito from Neon Prophet. We all, ended up partying together, and we all have our little Connecticut, our little Connecticut connection.
Nod, before my battery dies, can you do Valdez in the Country, or someday we'll all be free, little Donnie? Some Donnie Hathaway. I want to cry a little more.
Wow.
Anything you want.
Let's do, what's going on? What's going on?
That's Marvin.
Yeah, that's what Donnie did. We can do the ghetto. We didn't go that far into Donnie today. I should have.
It's all right.
I didn't know which way you wanted to go.
We're all over the place, man. Joined by Don Nottingham live here on Facebook. Keep the comments coming in. This guy is cooking.
War is not the answer, for only love can conquer hate. You know we've got to find a way to bring some loving in a day. Picket signs and picket lines don't punish me with brutality. Talk to me so you can see what's going on. What's going on? What's going on? I wanna know what's going on.
Don Nottingham. You know, just keeping it going here because it seems like the audience is tuning in a lot more when you're actually just performing, which is so instead forget the convo. But what about John Hendricks or the bebop? Any jazz tunes you can? Johnny Hartman? Can you riff on? Can you just riff on that?
I'm not. You know, I do jazz, I do blues, but those are not, things I focus on. I mean, I know some jazz stuff.
Was it My Funny Valentine or anything like that?
Let's do. I'm a Nat King Cole guy.
Do it.
Let's do the other one. Not, the song. I get stuck now sometimes. Yeah. Well, summertime. Okay, let's do that.
Feels like summer out there.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is summer. I got this jacket on. Summertime, and the living is easy. Fish are jumping, and the cotton is high. Oh, your daddy's rich, and your mommy's good looking. So hush, little baby, don't you cry. One of these mornings, you're gonna rise up singing. Then you'll spread your wings and you'll take to the sky. But until that morning, there ain't nothing gonna harm you. Wow, mommy and daddy
Beautiful. Nottingham. Don, what is? Can you talk about a mentor that you had in your life? I mean, it just and ultimately the qualities of mentorship that you believe are most important on the bandstand.
Oh wow! Well, I grew up in the business. I was behind the scenes of the business for many years, and but as far as my mentors, I have to give a lot of credit to Bobby and Sam Taylor, who are both New York guys, father and son. When I first came here, I was a member of the Bobby Taylor and the Real Deal band, and when started my music career as far as performing is concerned. But Sam Taylor is one of the greatest all-around musicians that you ever want to know, or even be around, or even hear of. You know, this man is responsible for so much music that is incredible, from Sam and Dave to the Beach Boys to everybody. I mean, he overseen our group, you know, his son's group. You know, he would come in and tell us what we're doing wrong. His biggest thing was to tell us to blend. You know, I'm a harmony fanatic, and his biggest thing was just coming in and cussing us out, telling us we need to blend, because between me, Bobby Taylor, and Mr. Rod Rush, I mean, we could basically out-sing a whole bunch of people, man. Just us three, you know, and you know, he just thrived on. I have a lot of respect for that man, and I have a lot of respect for his son Bobby, who, you know, like I said, was a great performer, you know, until he passed away. And I mean, mentorship. I mean, you know, I have to say him. You know, I was, like I said, I was behind the music scenes, you know, for years. I was mentored in the music business from other people, but performing-wise, I have to come back here to Tucson with them.
Maybe we can get a little bit of, before we wrap, on the Facebook Live portion, some sort of Chicago soul, Northern soul, Kurtom kind of, you know, something that comes to, you know, that you feel inside that you want to just riff on. Or you know, Diane Reeves, the temp, whatever, you know,
I'm a Temptation.
whatever in your bag. You got a deep bag here.
I'm a Temptation guy.
Sure.
And like I said, my whole vocal thing thrives around the Temptations. So it's like that's where I'm pretty much at. So I can express myself. You know, when I sing Temptation songs, like say Papa Was a Rolling Stone, for instance, I'm singing every part. I'm singing the whole song and half of the background sometimes. You know, depends on who's with me. But Temptations has got to be my number one group of all time. I mean, because nobody lays it down like them. We can do Just My Imagination or What a Difference a Day Makes. You're such a lucky guy to have a girl like her. It's truly a dream come true. Out of all the flowers in the world, she belongs to you. But it was just my imagination. Running away with me. It was just my imagination. Running away with me. Every night on my knees I pray. Dear Lord, hear my plea. Don't ever let another take a look at me. I will surely die. Her love is heavenly. When her arms enfold me, I hear a tender rhapsody. But in reality, she doesn't even know me. It was just my imagination. Once do something like this. I'm sending you red roses and violets of blue, girl. The roses mean I love you, and the violets mean I'll always be true. Yeah. 'Cause I really love you, and I truly, truly believe, yes I do. I believe that you love me, so baby come on, and say you do. But it was just my imagination running away with me. It was just my imagination running away with me. I never meant it, but I can't forget it. Was just my imagination, yeah. Running away with me. It was just my imagination running away with me.
Got a beautiful stuff. I mean, we got a question from a listener out there is interested to hear about this Curtis Mayfield tribute. Is this something that it just sort of it's in your imagination, or is it is moving along here?
Well, we're gonna get on it immediately after the show.
Oh wow!
Because it's something that needs to be done. I'm a guy, and I've been blessed to have a voice to pay tribute to a lot of people who need to be paid tribute to. So that's in my very near future to put this show together. I'm almost there. Just have to get my musicians together and get the material right and let's go for it.
How do you decide? How do you go through the songbook there? I mean, is it going to be sort of? He had such a groove going for so many years. I mean, how do you go about that?
Well, you have to pick. Well, it's a public thing. It's what the public wants to hear. Basically, you know what I mean.
So, by the way, someone, my dear friend Suba Dredd just asked. He's like, please give this dude my number. You're making a lot of collaboration out there, but I mean, there are the greatest hits of Curtis, yes. But there's so many underplays.
Well, years ago, about maybe 6-7 years ago, this one song he did was called Queen Majesty, and I didn't know it at the time, but this song has been covered. A friend of mine, Jamie Sharita from Neon Prophet, made me a CD one time with 16 different versions of this song, reggae style, which was incredible. But this rendition that I was working on, I never finished it, but I hope to finish it one day, was a different type of rendition of this song. And I had a couple of young guys around me that took a couple of hooks from the Average White Band. And this song, once it finally comes out one of these days, when it's finally finished, it's going to be a great song. It's going to be a great tribute, and it's going to be in that whole list of this people who covered this song, Queen Majesty. Like I said, it's one of the top reggae hits of all times.
Can you play one more kazoo tune, a little sax? I mean, Abbott said you play it like a sax. Let's blow it out here. Live on Facebook here and Power Talk with Don Nottingham, and just having a ball here. He's trying to find his kazoo. I put him on the spot. You just riff on it. I don't know how long my battery's going to go here, but we're just going to keep going.
Let's do impressions. I'm going to try some crazy there. I'm going to let the world know I'm going to do some crazy stuff right now.
Do it, baby.